A poor black child from a trailer park thinks she can heal a federal judge. Judge Douglas Sterling stared down from his wheelchair at 10-year-old Justice Morgan in her duct-taped sneakers. Security, remove her. Justice didn't move. Your Honor, you're in pain right now. Your back hurt before you even entered this room. Sterling froze. She was exactly right. I can stop that pain in 3 minutes, and in 12 more I can make you feel your legs again. The courtroom erupted, but Sterling felt it, a tingle in his right toe. Impossible, but real. Justice locked eyes with him. Free my dad, and I'll heal you. Right here, right now, 60 seconds to decide. Behind her, Christopher Morgan sat in handcuffs. 20 years for a crime he didn't commit, 3 cameras rolling. Sterling gripped his wheelchair. You have 3 minutes. 45 minutes later, he would stand up in front of 200 people. Let me back up. Justice Morgan grew up in a modest, 20-foot trailer nestled in Oak Grove Mobile Park. She was in 4th grade at Riverside Elementary, her outfits pulled from the church donation bin. Her sneakers, hand-me-downs from a cousin a few years her senior, had a flapping sole on the left side. Her grandmother, Ruth, at 73, had hands toughened by decades of what folks called bone setting. No fancy degree, no official certification, just a quiet legacy of helping over a dozen locals regain their mobility. Ruth could sense a body's troubles like reading an old, familiar novel. From age 6, Justice had absorbed these skills. How to lay hands on a spine and detect misaligned vertebrae, how to untangle muscle knots pulling bones askew, and how to distinguish pains needing urgent care from those requiring gentle persistence. Her mother, Maya, had worked as a nurse at Mercy Regional Hospital. Maya often spoke of Justice as a connector between ancient wisdom and contemporary science, blending touch with technology. But Maya passed away when Justice was 8, succumbing to stage 4 breast cancer. By the time it was detected, options were limited and funds were scarce on a nurse's wage, especially after her husband lost his employment. That was 2 years prior. Meanwhile, Judge Sterling resided in a spacious 4,200-square-foot home on Riverside Heights. With 19 years on the bench, he'd once enjoyed tennis matches twice weekly and Sunday hikes. 4 years ago, a faulty climbing rope gave way, sending him plummeting 25 feet and fracturing his T11 and L1 vertebrae, leaving him paralyzed below the waist. He'd exhausted every avenue. 3 surgeries, stem cell treatments abroad, intensive physical therapy 4 days a week for 20 months, herbal remedies, and innovative medications from Europe. Totaling $320,000. Nothing restored sensation. Now eyeing an appellate judge position with elections in 5 months, his 54% approval rating demanded a boost. A high-profile case could showcase his firmness on crime. But as the courtroom drama unfolded, would this young girl's bold claim truly bridge the gap between desperation and miracle? Christopher Morgan's case fit perfectly for Sterling's ambitions. Accused of involuntary manslaughter via medical oversight, Christopher had served as an X-ray tech at Mercy Regional. A patient, George Hamilton, arrived complaining of chest discomfort. Christopher captured the images and spotted an odd shadow in the right lung, about 2.4 centimeters across. He alerted the radiologist, Dr. Stephen Phillips, who dismissed it as a rib artifact and instructed no mention in the report. 7 months later, Hamilton passed from lung cancer, the mass evident all along on that X-ray, overlooked. The family sued for $2.4 million. The hospital settled at $1.7 million. Then the DA pressed charges against Christopher, earning $46,000 annually, while Phillips, at $310,000, escaped scrutiny. Clearly, the lower-paid tech became the fall guy. Christopher's public defender urged a plea. Admit guilt for 4 years, possibly out in 2. But Christopher refused. I flagged it correctly. They ignored me. Trial ensued, jury found guilty, and sentencing loomed with a suggested 18 years. For Justice, 18 years meant turning 28 before seeing her dad free, missing her adolescence, graduations, perhaps her own family milestones. It shattered her world. 2 realms, utterly disconnected. A tiny trailer versus a grand estate. A child versed in generational healing against a judge wedded to credentialed expertise. Yet today, Those paths converged as Justice had mere moments to achieve what specialists couldn't in 4 years. The man deciding her father's fate doubted her entirely. Camera 1 from KRSV News streamed to 32,000 YouTube viewers. Camera 2, Court TV Regional. Camera 3, blogger Rachel Stone with 17,000 Twitter fans recording via phone. Sarah Williams from Channel 7, live on Facebook, audience climbing to 2,200. In the courtroom, 200 spectators split. 45% believed Christopher framed, 55% sought retribution for Hamilton's kin. Bailiff Patricia Davis whispered into her phone. EMS delayed by traffic, now 13 minutes away, perhaps 11 if fortunate. Defense attorney Alan Brooks rose, palms sweaty. This scenario defied legal texts. A child's barter for her parents' liberty via healing. It felt like folklore or fraud. Justice trembled too, under 200 stares, 3 lenses, 1 mic, capturing all. In her mind echoed Grandma Ruth. Child, your hands run warmer than mine, 3 degrees hotter. You sense what I miss. Embrace it. And her mother's echo. You'll unite our ways with theirs, darling, neither superior. But Justice feared failure on this unprecedented spinal case. What if her efforts sealed her dad's doom by false hope? As the tension mounted, could this pint-sized healer truly sway a skeptical judge before time ran out? Judge Sterling pondered deeply. His heart thudded hard enough that he felt it in his ribs, pain radiating from his lower back to ribs. These flares were familiar. He'd endure with meds usually, but not amid 200 witnesses and cameras. Exiting meant reassignment to Judge Martha Taylor, known for leniency. She might slash Christopher's term to 9 years. Sterling couldn't risk that. This case fueled his appellate bid. He needed to preside, appear resolute in imposing 18 years. Yet the agony peaked. A gallery voice cried, "Don't let that kid near you, Judge, it's sorcery!" Another countered, "Let her try. What's the harm?" Patricia murmured, "EMS in 11 minutes, sir. I can evacuate if needed." Sterling eyed Justice, 10 years old, faded white tee nearly translucent from washes, patched jeans, duct-taped shoes. Terrified yet steadfast, promising what no one else could. Relief, possibility, restoration. Campaign optics swirled. Reject her. Headlines scream, arrogant judge spurns child's aid. Accept and flop. Judge duped by hoax. Succeed. Unimaginable. He inhaled deeply. 4 counts in, 6 out. Pain at 8 of 10. Eyes open. You've got 3 minutes. Fail, and security removes you. It wasn't mercy driving him, but ego, and 11 minutes till help. Justice shed her shoes. Ruth taught, bare feet ground you to the soil, channeling flow, spotting blocks, gauging effort. Cold tiles underfoot, she ascended 3 steps to the bench. Sterling adjusted his chair low. They met eye to eye. "May I touch your back, sir?" He assented. Hands on shoulders first, sensing heat through robe, muscle strain, breath rhythm. Then down spine sides from neck, T1, T2, T3, probing gaps like tactile script. This spot here, it's shifted out of place toward the left. Sterling gaped. How? Build-up's dragging your right hip. It even makes your right leg feel just a little shorter. Why you tilt left? Patricia scanned with an infrared device. Justice's hands at 99.4 degrees, elevated. Justice persisted. "Sir, a nerve's pinched between T11 and L1, sparking the spasm. Muscles guarding it. I'll ease the muscle first. Stings 25 seconds, then subsides." "Do it," he gritted. Thumbs targeted, 2 inches right of center. She pressed firmly and worked the tight spot in slow circles. Sterling winced. "That's breathe. Nose in 4, mouth out 6. Gradually, tension yielded. Silence enveloped. 200 beheld a child outdo 9 experts. After 3 minutes, 25 seconds, she withdrew. Sterling's pallor lifted, breaths eased, brow dry. "The pain, it's down to 5. "I know," Justice replied. "But full healing awaits. The nerves, still bound by scars, need 6 more minutes." And then, as a faint spark ignited in his toe, would Sterling dare embrace the impossible? Not agony, not void. A subtle buzz in his right big toe, absent 4 years. like limb awakening from slumber, but his had been deemed lifeless by specialists. Yet a pathway stirred, signals traversing from mind through cord, unlocked by her touch. He stayed mute, fearing to shatter the fragile hope. But Justice noted his hitched breath. "You sensed it, right? My toe," he murmured. "Pins and needles." She gave a subtle grin. "Positive sign, the nerves rousing, but your nerves haven't awakened in years. We need to move slowly. Continue?" He nodded, words failing, throat constricted. Alan Brooks stood rigid, pen idle, transfixed. 50 gallery members rose for view, camera one honed on her hands. Rachel typed wildly. His toe twitched, I swear. But no movement yet. Justice had merely palliated, true fix targeted roots, surgical scars binding cord, compressing nerves, defying doctors' prognoses. She required 11 more minutes, utter trust, silence. "Sir, trust me fully now," Justice urged. Sterling felt beyond hope, a mere spark in his toe. "How'd you learn?" Voice softer, less judicial, more awed. Justice dried palms on jeans. "Grandma Ruth from her mom and back 4 generations. Healing Oak Grove folks for 65 years. 4 generations, he echoed, but you're 10. Mom too before passing. Maya Morgan, nurse at Mercy Regional, same as Dad." Sterling stiffened. Maya Morgan, memory surged, post-first surgery, 3 years back, amid haze of drugs and defeat. She'd nursed him, shared her lineage's traditions, offered her mother's visit for nerve relief. He'd declined politely, staunch in science, trials, reviews. Maya smiled. "Fine, Judge. If you reconsider, we're available." She transferred units. Gone. "Your mom, Maya, cared for me post-op," Justice affirmed. "She journaled about you, many patients. Those she believed aidable if allowed. What of me? Strong spirit, but body at war. Scars the foe, not spine. She yearned to assist." Sterling shut eyes, envisioning her compassionate gaze. No pity. Belief he'd rejected. "Where's she now?" "Died 2 years back. Breast cancer. No funds for care." Impact like a blow. This woman, offering freely, felled by the system he revered. Now her child extended what she'd begun. Maya's offspring, the nurse he'd spurned, sole savior. "All right," Sterling resolved. "What next?" "Full trust. 11 minutes. Quiet all." Patricia announced. "Silence, please." She checked phone. EMS, 5 minutes. 22 till deadline. Justice requested. Warm cloth from lounge. Water for him. Aid for leg stability. Alan volunteered. Sterling reclined right. Cloth on back. Water sipped. Half for muscle hydration. As phase 2 loomed, delving scars, would pain yield to profound change? Grandma Ruth outlined 3 tiers. First, swift relief, surface only, temporary. Second, profound, dismantling adhesions, post-trauma webs ensnaring nerves, vessels, distorting flow, muting brain-body dialogue. This would sting. Izur, tackling scars now. You have several old scars here. They're tight and causing the trouble. Breaking bonds, feels like firm press. 4 of 10 pain, but freeing. Proceed, Sterling affirmed. Fingers traced first scar. Dense, cord-like, warping skin, muscle. I'm going to work across the scar to loosen what's pulling. Sterling tensed jaw. Intense. Breathe. 4 in, 6 out. Post 5 minutes. Initial segments softened, pliant. Grip loosened below. Nerve phase. Mr. Brooks, steady his right leg. I'm going to gently stretch your leg so the tight nerve can move more freely. 20 reps, slow, 3 up, 3 down. Alan gripped ankle. Justice elevated straight. Knee to 90 degrees. Repeat. At rep 11, calf zap, like bolt. Gallery inhaled sharply. 50 rows, camera 1 focused leg. Rachel tweeted, calf spasm, real. Justice pressed. 9 more, synced breaths, controlled. Done, hands on sacrum and T9, traction, mild stretch, 9 pounds, elongating spine millimeters. Held 40 seconds. A few soft pops echoed as his back eased into place. Then pivotal. Sir, attempt something. No strain, just envision right foot shift. Signal from mind down spine to leg. Picture toe stir. Eyes shut, focused, 10, 15, 20 seconds. Right big toe shifted, 1.5 millimeter tiny. Alan felt, God, it moved. Sterling eyed foot, retried, 2.5 millimeter. Tears streamed silently, soaking robe. After 4 years' verdicts of permanence, motion returned. 200 surged upright, not viewing, revering. Some wept, prayed, gawked. Rachel tweeted to 17,000. Toe wiggled, miracle in Riverside. Facebook stream, 6,500 viewers, 320 comments, minute, shares exploding. Justice eyed Sterling's mix of awe, dread. Not impossible, sir, just overlooked. Body recalls, we reminded. He nodded, voiceless. Doors swung. Paramedics with gurney, summoned for crisis. Sterling glanced Justice them. Halt, unneeded. Lead. Sir, distress call. Resolved. This girl achieved what medicine couldn't in 4 years. Stay for sentencing. They exchanged looks. Patricia shrugged. Judge's order. Exited. Sterling eyed right foot, toe responsive, uttered game changer. Show me the proof. But as files emerged, would buried truths upend the verdict? Sterling repeated. Show me the proof. Bailiff, voice resolute. All case files. Prosecutor Rebecca Walsh bolted up, chair screeching. Sir, trial concluded. Jury decided. Sentencing only. No retrial. Ensuring fairness, Ms. Walsh. Fetch X-ray proofs. Patricia gathered 3 dossiers. Case 2024 CR 3892. 15 X-rays, 240 transcript pages, placed on wheelchair desk. 15 minutes to deadline. Sterling projected X-rays large, visible to all. Hamilton's chest scan, 8 months pre-death. Justice neared. Maya had schooled her in X-ray reading at home like deciphering shadow tales. Sir, not expert, but Mom showed me, like bone stories in shades. Pointed right lung upper. That dark spot here, it doesn't match the shape of a rib. Long casts. This round, dense, tissue mass. Sterling cross-checked Phillips' report. Rib break right lateral, ribs 3-5, uncomplicated. Reassess 6 weeks if ache lingers. No mass noted. Read Christopher's transcript aloud. Noted lung anomaly. Informed Phillips. He called rib artifact. Omit from report to avoid confusing doctor. Who attended? Sterling queried. Patricia. Dr. Ellen Bradford. Bradford, unseen concern per Phillips' directive. Walsh paled. Irregular, sir. Can't revisit at sentencing. Ms. Walsh, a child restored my toe. Irregular fits today. Victim's kin here need resolution. Morgan's or Phillips' fault? Sterling leaned. Why suppress a text note? No trail, no blame. Justice softly. Why Phillips? Dots connected. Hamilton dead 7 months post-X-ray. Suit 2.4M, settle 1.7 mit. Insurance covered, but suits hike costs. Tarnish image. Family sought charges. Hospital scapegoated. Phillips, 310K, elite, requested. Tech, 46K, replaceable. Ms. Walsh, your campaign donors. Irrelevant. Mercy Regional, $22,000, public filings. Uproar, 200 chattered. Camera 3 on Walsh. Stream, 10,500 viewers. Hamilton attorney Thomas Reed rose. Recess, sir. Gavel thrice. No, sit. To Justice. Your dad prevented error. She nodded. Knew 3 years, believed now. Sterling, 4 years wheeled. Christopher, 4 jailed. Both wronged by systems. Gavel. Order. 30-day delay for review. Walsh. Can't. Did. Morgan free on bond. Adjourned. Unprecedented. So's child-mending judge. Adapt. To bailiff. Morgan, approach. Christopher rose, 39, aged to 52. Thin, bearded, orange garb, baggy, shuffled, cuffed. Remove restraints. Patricia paused. Protocol. Now. Off. He rubbed wrists, marks raw, free after 4 months. Sterling softened. You acted right. Saved potentially. I ignored your child. Apologies. Christopher choked. Sir, I... Embrace her! Justice dashed, enveloped in arms. Raw sobs echoed, relief for reclaimed loss. As applause swelled, would Sterling's decrees ignite lasting reform? 110 clapped, 90 sat dazed. But Sterling pressed. Ordering probe into Mercy Regional Radiology. Last 6 years, Phillips's cases spotlighted. State Board, review his credentials. Patricia noted verbatim. Walsh slumped, hands unsteady, career crumbling. Sterling to justice, clutched to father. What you achieved, 9 doctors failed 4 years, not conventional, not alternative, just compassionate care, hearing over rejecting. Justice lifted tear-streaked face. Letter to Riverside College, scholarship at 18, tuition, $4,500 yearly stipend, medicine, nursing, therapy. Your pick. And she grasped vaguely, a gateway unlocked. Another to legislature. Pilot studying heritage healing in needy areas. $2.2 million fund. Your grandma, mom. Overlooked wisdom must shift. Paused. One more. Crowd hushed, assuming peaks passed. Healing. Freedom. Sterling gripped armrests. Justice whispered, you can. Body knows. Breathed. 4 in, 6 out. Her method. Pushed, arms quivered, shoulders strained. Upper strong from compensation, but rise needed legs. Dormant muscles, paths. Yet her work sparked. Right quad fired, knee locked, left followed. Judge Douglas Sterling stood, 7 seconds, knees wobbling, fawn-like, right hand steadying but upright on own. 200 rows. Ovation for rebirth. Cameras captured. Rachel. Miracle. Stood 7 seconds. Counted. Riverside. Stream. 17,000 viewers. 850 shares minute. Evening. 3.8 M views. Morn. 8.2 M TikTok. Justice watched him battle. Affirm impossibility's defeat. Changes power. 7 seconds he sat, grinning genuinely, humanly. Gallery cry. Thanks, young one. She turned. 200 faces, tears, smiles, awe, realized beyond dad judge, for all belittled, too humble to count. 4 years back, your mom offered aid. I refused, doubted her ways. She said, one day you'll see. Right, wish she witnessed. Whisper, she does, sir. Always. 4 years to stand, 4 hours to sway, 4 seconds for 200 to trust greater forces. 5 weeks on, charges dropped. Probe. Phillips botched 7 X-rays past 3 years, 4 delayed diagnoses, 2 fatalities. Board, 2-year suspension, 450 retraining hours, 4 suits. Career ended. Mercy apologized, offered Christopher $160,000. He took $45,000, debts, bills, donated rest to Oak Grove Health Fund. New role. Lead tech at Regional Center, $62,000, attentive boss. Walsh lost election 59-41%. Headlines ruined. Resigned, private law quietly. Sterling therapied with Justice, Ruth, Monday, Wednesday, Friday pre-court. 5 weeks, stand 2 minutes unsupported, walk 10 steps with Walker. His doc, Dr. Patricia Wilson. Unexplainable but effective. Continue. As reforms took root, would legacy endure? Sterling drafted Assembly Bill 1424, 2.2 Matters for Heritage Healing Research in Underserved Spots. Passed April. His appellate run highlighted it. 162%. Justice. Oak Grove icon. Video viral, 4.1 M. YouTube, 8.3 M. TikTok. National spots. Good Morning Sacramento. Talk shows. Family declined. Ruth. She needs school, normalcy. But normal shifted. Riverside College letter. Scholarship ready at 18. UC Davis. Early med path. Merging traditions with science. Ruth offered role. Health advisor at Riverside Center. Part-time 24-hour. Sharing bone setting with 14 nurses. 5 docs first year. Yes, but teaches is. Listen truly. Works via understanding, respect, not force. By year 2, 4 centers statewide. Mercy CEO Raymond Foster quit. New, dual X-ray reviews, advocacy hotline, safe reports. Donated $90,000 to Oak Grove Initiative. Start. Not full amends. 5 weeks post, Sterling hosted Morgan's at home. First Riverside Heights visit. 4,000 SQFT, lofty ceilings, vast windows, rear garden with lilies. Pond. Sterling greeted, walked 10 steps. No walker, cane only. Gate off, left laggy, but mobile. Christopher handshook, Ruth embraced, Justice beamed. Living room tea, brown-wrapped gift for her. Unwrapped, aged leather journal, edges frayed, pages aged. Your mom's, From Mercy Archives. Nearly discarded, I requested. Justice flipped. 2020 pages, Maya's script. Patience, Ruth's methods, blending worlds. Final, 4 weeks pre-death. Justice, if reading, I'm away. Don't grieve. Gifts yours. Not fame, wealth, help hurt ones. Enough always. Love, Mum. Hands trembled. Sterling. Spent $320,000 for mobility. You free. Why? Dad didn't deserve chains. You not that chair. Both restart now. 5 weeks. Sterling 10 steps free. Christopher debtless. Justice future bright. Healing transcends flesh, about faith. This tale, 10-year-old, alters 2 lives in 40 minutes. But deeper. Lost lore, dismissed hands, silenced voices lacking degrees or seals. How many like Justice exist? Grandmas like Ruth, 65 years insight? Dads like Christopher imprisoned for inconvenient truths? Story in Riverside, but echoes anywhere. Your community, halls, kin. Maya journaled weeks before end. Use gift. Folks ache. You aid. Enough. Sticks because true. We all wound. Body, heart, soul. Helper sometimes lacks titles. Schooling. Sweets. Often one who tries, brave to affirm, I see, hear, can assist. Justice mended Sterling not via degree, but Mum's listening, Grandma's feeling, 4 generations defying erasure. If this shifts views on mending, fairness, who speaks versus ignored, subscribe gratefully. Tales demand time, craft, and count. Not flawless, not all fixing, but genuine, reminding bravery births impossibles. But what lingering ripples did this courtroom spark in the wider world? The video of Justice's courtroom moment didn't just go viral. It sparked conversations across dinner tables and community gatherings about the value of overlooked wisdom. In Oak Grove, neighbors who'd long relied on Ruth's quiet expertise now saw their traditions validated on a larger stage. Churches hosted discussions on blending faith with science, and local schools invited Ruth to share stories of generational knowledge, inspiring young minds to honor their roots while embracing new paths. Sterling's recovery continued to defy expectations. By the 3-month mark, he could walk 20 steps unaided, his cane more a precaution than necessity. He often reflected on how a child's hands had rewritten his story, reminding him that true strength comes from openness to the unexpected. In speeches for his appellate campaign, he wove in tales of resilience, urging audiences to question systems that dismiss the humble. Christopher, back in the workforce, became an advocate for workplace accountability. At his new position, he mentored junior techs on speaking up without fear, turning his ordeal into a lesson for others. The family trailer, once a symbol of struggle, now felt like a haven of triumph, with Justice's scholarship letters framed on the wall as beacons of possibility. Ruth's program flourished, training dozens more in the subtle art of bone setting. Nurses reported better patient outcomes when incorporating these methods, proving Maya's vision of a bridge between worlds. The state funding led to similar initiatives in neighboring regions, slowly shifting how communities approached health. Yet, the story's heart remained in quiet moments. Justice reading her mother's journal by lamplight, feeling connected to a legacy of care. It wasn't about fame. It was about reminding everyone that healing often starts with listening. As word spread, could this single event inspire a nationwide re-evaluation of forgotten healers? Nationally, the story caught fire. News outlets dissected the courtroom footage, experts debated the miracle, and social media buzzed with shares. Hashtags like Justice for Healing trended, drawing attention to disparities in healthcare access. Advocacy groups pushed for policies recognizing traditional practices, citing Ruth's success as proof. In Washington, lawmakers referenced Sterling's bill during hearings on rural health reforms. One senator, moved by the viral video, sponsored federal grants for studying indigenous and folk medicines, allocating $5 million initially. Communities from Appalachia to the southwest shared similar tales of grandmothers and elders whose knowledge had saved lives but gone unrecognized. Mercy Regional faced scrutiny beyond Phillips. An internal audit revealed systemic issues, leading to overhauled training protocols. The hotline received hundreds of tips in its first year, uncovering overlooked errors and saving potential victims. For the Morgans, life normalized with purpose. Christopher volunteered at health fairs, Justice excelled in school with a newfound confidence, and Ruth's classes filled quickly. Sterling, now appellate judge, invited Justice to his swearing-in, where she received a standing ovation. A full-circle moment, but the true legacy. Empowered voices, families who'd felt invisible now advocated louder, proving one bold act can echo through generations. With reforms gaining momentum, what personal transformations awaited those touched by the tale? On a personal level, Sterling's life transformed beyond mobility. He hosted monthly forums at his home, inviting healers like Ruth to share insights with medical professionals. These gatherings fostered collaborations, blending techniques that improved care for chronic pain sufferers. Sterling often credited Justice with not just healing his body, but opening his eyes to humility's power. Justice, growing into her teens, balanced school with occasional sessions alongside Ruth. She dreamed of medical school, envisioning a practice honoring both worlds. The journal became her guide, its pages filled with notes on patients she'd helped, echoing Maya's words. Christopher rebuilt bonds strained by his ordeal. Family dinners became rituals of gratitude, where they shared stories of perseverance. He started a support group for wrongfully accused workers, offering legal advice and emotional support, turning pain into purpose. Ruth, at 73, found renewed vigor in teaching. Her methods, once whispered in trailers, now documented in training manuals. She emphasized respect for the body's innate wisdom, a lesson resonating with seasoned nurses weary of rigid protocols. The Hamilton family, initially seeking closure through punishment, reached out to Christopher. In a mediated meeting, they acknowledged the system's failures, forging unexpected forgiveness. George Hamilton's memory inspired donations to cancer research, uniting former adversaries. As years passed, the story evolved from sensation to staple in motivational talks, reminding all that redemption often arrives in unlikely forms. But how did this ripple into broader societal change, touching lives far beyond Riverside? Societally, the event catalyzed shifts in policy and perception. California's pilot program expanded nationwide, with $10 million in federal matching funds by year 3. Clinics in underserved areas integrated traditional healers, reducing wait times and costs while improving outcomes. Studies showed 20% better recovery rates for spinal issues using combined approaches. Media portrayals of miracle workers grew more respectful, featuring profiles of elders like Ruth. Documentaries explored forgotten knowledge, sparking interest in cultural preservation. Universities added courses on integrative medicine, attracting diverse students eager to bridge gaps. In justice systems, Sterling's precedent influenced reviews of similar cases. Over 50 wrongful convictions tied to institutional scapegoating were overturned in the following decade, with reforms mandating independent audits. For Black communities like Oak Grove, it affirmed resilience against systemic bias. Youth programs emphasized heritage skills, empowering kids to value their backgrounds. Justice became a symbol, her story taught in schools as one of courage and compassion. Yet challenges remained. Skeptics dismissed it as anomaly, funding battles persisted. But the seed planted grew, proving small acts can uproot deep inequities. Reflecting on it all, Sterling wrote in his memoir, "A child's hands taught me that true justice heals divides, one touch at a time." As the tale endures, what timeless lessons on wisdom and redemption does it offer for us today? Today, the story of Justice Morgan stands as a testament to the enduring power of inherited wisdom in a world quick to discount it. It reminds us that healing isn't confined to hospitals or courtrooms. It's in the hands that care, the voices that persist, and the hearts open to change. For those who've walked long paths, it echoes that life's twists can reveal profound truths, turning adversity into alliance. Justice, now pursuing her dreams, continues her mother's bridge building. Ruth's legacy lives in every trainee who learns to listen to the body. Christopher advocates tirelessly, ensuring no one faces silence alone. Sterling, walking freely, champions equity from the bench. This narrative isn't just history. It's a call to recognize the healers among us, the injustices we can right, and the miracles born from belief. In an era of division, it urges unity between traditions and progress, humility over hubris. If it stirs you to value overlooked gifts or question unfair systems, that's its true victory. Stories like this endure because they reflect our shared humanity, the capacity to heal, forgive, and grow, no matter the odds. Subscribe to hear more tales of quiet heroes and unexpected turns, reminding us that redemption is always possible when we dare to believe.